So I thought about this after watching the Superman trailers that came out recently, and I noticed that James Gunn has two mystery characters, both of which we do not know what their secret identities are. Both are going to be antagonists in this new movie. One of them is Ultraman, who seems to be working with Lex Luthor, and the other one is a new and original character called the Hammer of Baravia. Absolute tank. Both are mystery characters who we currently don't know who the actors are playing them. What we do know, however, is Ultraman is a variant of Superman from an alternate universe who is evil. Since he's masked, however, because in the comics he's not masked, but he's an alternate version of Clark Kent, Kal-El, Superman. Since he's masked up in this, I'm thinking it's going to be a pretty sweet reveal. Imagine if it's Henry Cavill that's playing Ultraman. How many Snyder fans will lose their mind to that possibility? And it would work perfectly. All the Snyder fans talking about, oh, closing my wallets. I'm not seeing this movie. Oh, they would definitely go see it if they knew Henry Cavill was in there playing as Ultraman. Because at least you get to see Henry Cavill beat up David Corenswet a bit before he eventually loses the fight, because of course that has to be the case considering he's the bad guy in this movie. So, Superman has to win. I mean, it's not like we haven't already seen a sort of evil like Superman in Zack Snyder's DC, right? In the Snyderverse, the whole nightmare scene depicted Superman as evil. Right? When they resurrected Superman initially in Justice League, Superman wasn't himself. So that alone sets up a perfect cast to have Henry Cavill play Ultraman. And I think that would satisfy the people who are looking forward to this new reboot of DC, as well as the old Snyder fandom at the same time. It's the best of both worlds. An even better scenario is, let's say, Ultraman just gets defeated in this movie. He doesn't end up dying. They just like seal him up, or they, put him in the Phantom Zone or whatever they do with him, but they don't kill him off, and they use him again in a, sequel or a Justice League movie in the future or something. Bring him back, make him a recurring villain. Because the one thing that these superhero movies love to do is just kill off the main villain in one movie. It would be a nice change of pace if James Gunn did something different in regards to that. I mean, he did it already in Guardians 3 with the High Evolutionary. He kept him alive. So he can do it again here. Doesn't just have to be Lex Luthor, because, Lex Luthor is going to be recurring, of course, but Ultraman would be another good choice to keep alive. And we got the Hammer of Boravia, who is a completely new character. So there's a fictional country called Boravia where this guy is from, and yeah, he's a complete mystery. He's built like a tank. He seems to have the same power base as Superman, just like Ultraman does. We see in the trailer that he shoots heat vision out of his eyes or his helmet. It could be, if he's not a Kryptonian, he could be. It could be just tech based, like his suit shoots out heat vision, and all that Superman needs to do is to destroy the suit, and he's beaten. Not sure, but it does make it pretty interesting that you have two superpowered enemies right off the jump that have the same or similar powers as Superman. Like, they're starting off big. They're not making it easy for Superman at all, which is good. No, I've seen a lot of people complain that, oh, this Superman is weaker than what Henry Cavill's was. Well, let's not pretend that Henry Cavill's Superman wasn't getting his ass kicked in Man of Steel by multiple Kryptonians that he eventually got the upper hand against. But still, you had General Zod and his two proteges, don't remember their name and don't really care. All three of them posed a big challenge for Superman in that movie. So yeah, pretending Henry Cavill Superman wasn't getting his ass kicked in different points within that movie. You're just lying to yourselves. But you've been lying to yourselves, Snyder fans, since the first trailer dropped for this new Superman movie. Again, we already know you're going to be there on day one, and you're not convincing anybody else otherwise. And I'm curious what you guys think. How would you feel if Henry Cavill was Ultraman? And who do you think the Hammer of Baravia is going to be? Because he could be anybody. Hell, it could even be Bizarro, for all we know. Maybe Baravia got some of Superman's DNA and used it to make Bizarro, and maybe that's the reveal. That would be interesting. But then again, Bizarro has the reverse abilities that Superman has, so he doesn't have heat vision. Instead, he has freeze vision, as opposed to Superman's freeze breath. He has heat breath. So maybe not, but it would be a interesting plot device nonetheless, having the Baravians stealing Superman's DNA and having them build their own Superman, quote unquote, using him as a means of defense, right, or retaliation, because since Superman in the trailers seems to be getting arrested for entering Baravia in the first place because he illegally entered the country, trying to save people because that's what Superman does. And considering that this new DCU already has an established universe, an established DC universe going on, I would assume that Bizarro is already established as well. I mean, if Ultraman is there, and then he's from a whole other reality, right, in a whole different universe. So if he's there, that tells me that Bizarro also has to be there. I do wonder about General Zod too, who the General Zod is for the DCU, or how they work that out. Because if this Superman is already established, does that mean that the whole Zod conflict, like it takes place after the Zod conflict? I would assume so, right? If we're going by other Superman movies, Zod is probably in the Phantom Zone. Oh, and the fact that we have Crypto the Superdog as well as Supergirl, who we're going to see in her movie. I would think that the Zod conflict's probably been taken care of already, but Lex Luthor could probably, after he loses in this movie, right? Because that's how it has to end. He, in like the post credits, maybe he has Zod released from the Phantom Zone or something, or I don't know though. Wasn't Zod trying to take over Earth? So maybe not. But or maybe he works with Baravia, and maybe that's how the Hammer of Baravia identity gets revealed. Lex Luthor finds out that the Hammer is Bizarro under there or somebody else. I don't know. There's a lot of things that they can do surrounding these two characters of Ultraman and the Hammer of Baravia, with Lex Luthor in mind, because Lex Luthor is still the main antagonist of the movie, but Superman has a large rogues gallery, and really, since this is the first movie installment for the DCU, the potential is endless. The possibilities are endless. It's anything can happen.